Hello everyone. So today we are going to look at factoring expressions by grouping. So far we've looked at factoring by HCF, factoring trinomials, and today we'll talk about factoring by grouping. So I have this expression ax plus ay plus bx plus by, and we need to factor it. And remember what we said, we go through our process of elimination. I'm going to start by saying, okay, well, do these four terms have a highest common factor? And if you kind of think about it, it's like they almost have the same factor, but they don't really have a common term between the four of them. Ax, ay, they kind of have something in common. Then the ax and the bx kind of have something in common, but all four of them, for the most part, don't have anything in common. So this is when we're going to use this new method of factoring by grouping. And I'm going to share with you right now my steps for factoring by grouping. All right, so here are the steps that we're going to use. First thing I'm going to do is split the expression in half. So I'm just going to do a dotted line that splits my expression in half, or a broken line, really. Now, I'm just going to focus on the first half, almost like I'm ignoring the second half. And if I look at that first half, I'm going to determine, well, what is their highest common factor? Ax plus ay. In this case, it's definitely a. And I'm going to factor that out. So if I factor out the a, and I put my brackets, and I'm thinking, well, what is ax divided by a? That leaves me with x plus ay divided by a. That leaves me with y. So that first half is done. Second step, I'm going to factor the second half. So I'm just going to focus on the bx and the by because the first half is already done. So I do know, well, please take note, whatever sign is in the middle always comes down. So I'm going to write my plus sign. I do know that these two have a b in common, b. So I'm going to say open brackets and try to think about what does it look like if I divide both terms by b. Bx divided by b just leaves me with x plus by divided by b just leaves me with y. All right, so I've done step 1, step 2, and step 3. Now I'm going to simplify the expression. So what you're going to look for, and you should see something that's very interesting at this point. My factors, the expression that's inside the brackets, must be exactly the same. All right, they do have to be exactly the same in order for me to simplify. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to combine the terms that are on the outside. So in this case, the a plus b, I'm going to combine them into their own factor. So it becomes a plus b with the brackets. And then I'm just going to take one of these expressions. Since it's written twice, I'm only going to take one. So a plus b times x plus y. And what you'll notice is if you were to FOIL this expression, you would get back your original expression. Okay, so let's look at a second question. Again, I have am minus bm plus an minus bn. And I am going to use the same 4 steps where I first split the expression in half. So I'm going to just take my pen and split it in half. There you go. Now I'm going to factor the first half. So I'm just going to focus on the first 2 terms, am minus bm. And I want to think to myself, well, what do these 2 terms have in common? They have an m. And I'm going to write my brackets and try to factor out or divide each term by m. am divided by m just leaves me with a minus b. A minus b. Now I'm looking at the second half, and remember, whatever sign is there always comes down. In this case, they have an n in common. If I go ahead and I factor or divide both terms by n, I'm left with a minus b. All right? So I factored the first half, factored the second half. Now I need to simplify the expression. So the m and n, I'm going to bring those together in their own pair of brackets. So m plus n multiplied by a minus b. And there you have it. We've looked at factoring by grouping.